Stranger Things Volume 2 is nearly here, and it feels like we're really heading towards the final climax. Everything has changed. Those safety nets we've seen in previous seasons, where we always knew our favorite characters would be safe, feel like they have disappeared and everyone is now in danger. But before we get started, if you're new here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our deep dives, theories, and breakdowns. Today we're jumping into the newest Volume 2 updates, so let's get into it. Fans are already speculating whether or not characters like Holly or Max will have powers, if our favorite character will make it out alive, or why the Hawkins lab is in the center of the flesh wall surrounding the Upside Down. The tone in the show is shifting. It's darker, with more horror elements, and there's a real sense of dread creeping in. Ross Duffer recently shared some insights about the 3 episodes in Volume 2, so let's break it all down. First up, Episode 5, Shock Jock. This one is directed by the legendary Frank Darabont, the mind behind The Mist, The Green Mile, and The Shawshank Redemption. And according to Ross, this episode takes things to a much darker place than anything we've seen in Stranger Things. It sounds like this will be the episode where we see the intensity ramp up. Ross Duffer teased that Darabont is flexing new muscles with this one. It's going to be a seriously scary ride. So I think episode 5 is when we'll start to see the full scope of Vecna's plan and the intensity is going to hit full force. And if you've seen my other videos, you know that some fans are predicting that this is the episode where Steve Harrington is at most risk. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose someone important here. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know we discussed the theory behind why Vecna needs the kids. In Season 4, he believed 4 deaths would open up both worlds and merge them together, but all it did was create rifts that the government then covered up. He underestimated what he needed to completely merge both dimensions, and in Season 5 has created the shape of the Tesseract, with each of the 12 kids being at an energy point. And we know from Episode 4, Vecna's ritual is almost complete, with the last kids he needed now being taken. Once he places them in their rightful places in the shape, the dimensions will begin to merge. And I believe that's what we're seeing in the newly released images from the opening of Episode 5. We might finally get a glimpse of what's really behind the wall in the Upside Down. Next, we've got Episode 6, Escape from Camazotz, which Shawn Levy calls the biggest episode of Volume 2. And Ross Duffer said that the performances in this one made them cry every time they watched it. So that tells us that Episode 6 will be the one that has you screaming into a pillow to keep from waking the neighbors. It's the episode before the penultimate one, the one that sets everything in motion for the final showdown. Here's where things get really interesting. We've seen that Holly Wheeler, who was formerly played by twins Aniston and Tinsley Price, was recast with Nell Fisher, who already has experience in intense horror roles like her role in the Evil Dead franchise, Evil Dead Rise. I don't believe they recast Holly with someone with this type of experience just to show her running around dancing to I Think We're Alone Now. There's something bigger at play here, and this will be a breakout moment for Holly. And with what the Duffer Brothers and Shawn Levy have said, Episode 6 is going to be a standout for both Nell Fisher and Sadie Sink. Some theories are going around that Holly could gain cleric powers, allowing her to cast dimension doors. We've seen behind-the-scenes images of Holly and Max looking through the back of Holly's bedroom mirror, which is oddly reminiscent to Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland sequel, Alice Through the Looking Glass. Could they be trying to escape Vecna's mind through the mirror? Do they find the version of the Wheeler house inside of Vecna's mind and take the mirror from the wall, and that's why they're looking down into it instead of at it like it was still hanging on the wall? And we also had this behind-the-scenes photo of a door in a field, possibly the field outside of the radio station. Could that be a dimension door that Holly casts to escape? Also, in Episode 6, we're going to get a dual POV. As Max and Holly try to escape Vecna's mental prison, Vecna will send Demogorgons after her body in the right side up. This is where we will see Lucas fighting for his life as he tries to protect Max's comatose body inside the hospital. This will without a doubt be chaotic, intense, and heart-stopping. And then finally, we have the penultimate episode, The Bridge. Episode 7. This episode is said to be one of the most emotional episodes of the season, second only to the finale. The final episode that sets all the pieces on the table for the final push, the endgame, the Infinity War to the Stranger Things story. The episode where everything falls into place and Vecna becomes a nearly unstoppable force. The Duffers have confirmed there won't be a massive number of deaths, but that doesn't mean nobody dies. With the darker tone the show is heading toward, it's looking more likely that we'll see a major character loss in this episode that will be the last big emotional gut punch and feeling of loss that will raise the stakes for the grand finale, just like in Infinity War. Stranger Things Season 5 Volume 2 is less than 2 weeks away. We've got dark twists ahead, intense character moments, and possibly a death or two that will leave us reeling. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think is in the most danger? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you in the next one.